Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 10 of the Curiosity Cache. How are you players doing today?
Great.
Yeah, doing pretty good.
Awesome. The last time we left you guys, Captain Morrigan, your ship had been cracked in two, or mostly in two, and was sinking beneath the waves as the sun was setting. And was it five? I think five very large islands that you thought were islands, and now you're pretty sure are probably creatures were
It
like
was like,
not that far away from you as you're like floating on a raft of debris.
like seven and then four and then back to five and then like two at one point. And
Yeah.
like, is that how it's supposed to be?
Yeah, because some of them definitely went beneath the waves, which was not islandy at all. So you're all floating there. Um, Jojen, the first mate, is kind of like diving under the water every so often to watch for any signs of what ripped the ship in two. But otherwise, everyone's kind of clinging to this makeshift lifeboat. What do you do?
So as a captain,
Yeah,
I can tell like north and south from the stars, I assume, or how
yeah,
the
I
sun
would
moves.
I would give you a good chance to do so. Yeah,
Okay, so then I know that at some point we were somehow southwest of land. That was a thing.
correct. Yeah, you know that you're south of land no matter where you are because of the way the continent is and where you were. But you thought you were southwest from the closest shore.
Okay, so then how many people can fit on our like triple barreled? We'll
So
call it
pretty
a
much
boat.
you're all just like hanging on because it's the four of you as well as the rest of the crew. You're all just
Yeah.
kind of like hanging on to these timbers of wood that Braca essentially nailed to the barrels that are keeping everything afloat. So no one's really on the raft so much as keeping from like submerging by hanging on to it.
Okay. So we're gonna have to Titanic this. Um, I would like one person at a time to like get as on the thing as possible so they could take like a 30-minute nap.
Gotcha.
And then we'll have to rotate this as we like kick in a northeast-ish direction in
Gotcha.
the hopes that at some point we hit land before we all die of like lack of food or exhaustion or those like magical islands that surely want to eat us.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yep,
Uh,
in that order.
hey, Captain.
Yes.
I have a question for you, which is, can either you or Jojen dive down to the remains of the ship and potentially get more lumber up here, and potentially we can make this a little bit larger?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that shouldn't be a problem.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we do have a skilled. Braka's amazing. He nailed this together. And if you can maybe find some tools and maybe some extra lumber, we can expand what we have a little bit more, and our chances of survival might go like this much up.
That much could be the difference.
Yes.
DM question.
Yeah.
So as what am I again? What am the race I'm called?
A Triton.
Triton. Yes. Can I see like in the dark depths of the ocean? Because I assume we're like fairly deep.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so you have a level of dark vision that's similar to seeing on land in dark vision, like in the dark. So you can't see for miles around you or anything like that once you go
Right.
down. But you can see. I believe your dark vision is 60.
60. Okay. Um. Okay, so then this is what I'm going to do. I'm gonna take one of the pieces of rope that I got from the ship before I went down. I'm gonna tie it to Jojen, and we're gonna do like a scuba buddy type thing. Because if we neither of us can like see that far, we're just gonna go down like try to find the ship. Um, there was also the fact that there was a massive crab claw thing that attacked us, which could still technically be down there.
It's true.
So yeah, we're gonna go down looking for any abnormal shifts in the current. that could indicate a 50-foot crab claw moving.
Gotcha. All right. So go ahead and do a survival check.
I forgot. Are you good at survival?
So the captain lashes himself to Jojen, the first mate.
Oh, 15.
And they dive beneath the water, and essentially you're like feeling the currents and being very hyper aware of what's going on around you. And you do definitely feel like that kind of shifting of a large creature as it's moving in the depths around you, but out of your vision. So you can kind of avoid that as much as possible, and it never really shows up while you're down looking for the timbers and such that you want to bring back up. You definitely know it's out there, but you don't see it.
That does not make me feel much better, but we'll see if we can find the ship, and then if we can, attempt to peel off or get as much lumber as we can carry.
Okay. So while the captain and Jojen goes down to do that, the rest of you are sitting up on the top, and the sun has gone down. There's a little bit of light kind of coloring the horizon. And the islands that the captain mistook for islands, I guess, the large formations in the water, you definitely see them grow as they're getting closer to you. And as the sun disappears, there's this weird kind of warbling noise that comes out of them. Doesn't really sound like anything you've ever heard before, but you're pretty sure the noise is coming from the islands. What do you do?
Is that their death song? Are we about to be murdered by crabs? Or lobsters? I'm not sure which. Giant crabs or lobsters? Rocco, what do you think they are?
I have never been in water before. I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I'm gonna turn to the crew people. Do any of you know what those things are and what that is?
So none of them know what it is. So I'm going to jump over so I have their names. So Barnabas, you can tell he is just super pale, super out of it. He's just staring at these things. It seems like he might be in some level of shock, even though you don't see any injury on him. But Miela seems pretty coherent, and she shakes her head and she's like, I've never seen anything like that before.
Okay. I'm gonna turn to our resident Slytherin. What do you think?
He is wet and looks way smaller than he normally does, which is small. You ever seen a wet rat? It's not pretty. And he seems more focused on not dying in the bath than anything, really. He does seem, though, very keen on getting over to those big islands, whether or not they are making warbling noises or not. That might actually be a dinner bell, which might be good for us. Also dry. But he also seems to be waiting for guidance.
All right. Well, when we were on the ship, our ship wasn't, it was anchored at the time, right?
You were going to drop anchor, but ended up not because they realized that the islands were not islands.
Okay, so we are moving. So maybe they go out. They probably go after, and she's saying this aloud. They probably go after fresh things. So as opposed to just rotting wood drifting on the surface or something like that. So until the captain comes back, we probably just shouldn't kick or move or act like we're flailing at the surface of the water, because I feel like that might be dinner for them. Thoughts?
Miela nods. That seems like a wise idea.
Yeah. Okay. So no kicking, no flailing anybody. Should just chill out.
Yeah, if we're chilling out, Bronco would like to try and look up at the stars and is like, is navigation from the stars in the middle of ocean feel at all like navigation and stars in the middle of desert?
Yeah.
Cool. I've done this before. I mean, not with the whole, sinking in the bath, which, yeah, I'm a little worried about that too now. But, yeah, being able to find which is north and which is not,
Yeah.
that I can do.
If you want to go ahead and do a survival check, you can do that.
I mean, I say I can do that, but let's see what the dice say.
Right? Oh, yeah. The dice like you today. So you are pretty sure that that direction over there is north.
And I calmly let everybody know, okay, north is over here and south is over here. And
Okay.
the captain is down there.
Yep.
Hopefully.
I hope.
So speaking of the captain, so as you descend beneath the depths, it's obviously very dark down here, and you're just like keeping an eye out for any kind of sign of the ship or even the large monster. And you see bits of floating debris kind of like sinking slowly. So you know you're in the right area. But what is your passive perception?
Passive perception is a 15.
A 15. Cool. So as you and Jojin dive down and you're kind of like, stretching that line between you taut so you can go out as far as you can, but still know where each other is. You notice he starts tugging, and so you head that direction, and sure enough, the aft, the back side of the ship is right there. It's still sinking, but you can see it.
Then we're going to do our best to dislodge some lumber, as much as we can, like, reasonably carry and make it back up.
Sure. And you're both gonna just grab like essentially an armful.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you go down and pry loose some pieces that are pretty much broken anyway from where the ship cracked, and you manage to like break off some large chunks, and each of you swims back up to the top with them. So as they break the surface, everyone else can see that they have several more pieces of wood. More than likely, you could lay them across the triangle that you made for the raft so that a few people could sit up on top of it. Or you could try something else. You tell me.
So I'll leave that to our local carpenter.
Okay.
So this is his baby.
Yeah. What kind of tools do I still have with me?
What kind of tools did you have on you to begin with?
Well, I think that I picked up some of the carpentry tools as the ship was falling apart because I was trying to repair the ship. Right. So, like, carpentry tools and a mop were basically
right.
kind of what I had on hand as I was.
So I feel like you would still have those tools with you. It's more like nails and stuff, maybe nails? Not so much.
Yeah, not so much.
But I feel like you lashed the raft together to begin with, like with the ropes. So you don't necessarily need to have nails to make this work. You don't feel that way anyway.
No. Would we need more rope? This is something where, as a player, I am not at all competent in tools.
You could like split the rope, like because there's multiple fibers, but that would weaken the strength of it. Or you could try using like the captain there has a large piece of rope if he's willing to let you use it.
Captain, I could either try and use your rope to lash more on, or stack the lumber for some seating like you suggested. Choice is yours.
Do you think we need any more lumber? Because if you don't need any more lumber, then you can just have the rope, and we won't need to head back down there.
Not sure. Does it seem like this is enough lumber to let someone eventually be able to take any kind of a meaningful rest to recover?
Yeah, you could probably
Right.
get 3 of you on there at a time.
So basically, Baraka is looking for whatever is going to be the safest, least likely to backfire option. Not that would ever happen, but can't afford a whole lot of risk here.
Okay. So yeah, Captain, you feel like he has it pretty well under control that you don't need to go back down and get any more. Braca, you feel like you can lash together with the rope that the captain has given you a pretty stable top. It might extend out a little beyond the edges of the triangle, in fact, to allow 3 of you to rest at any given time. You feel like this is a pretty good plan.
Excellent. So yeah, that's what Brock is going to do.
Okay. While they're kind of figuring this out, Pracha and Decim, what are you doing?
Hating the bath.
Trying to think of ways we can get food in the middle of an ocean, or water, more importantly, water in the middle of an ocean. That's gonna be a problem that comes up real quick. I'm gonna look around at the other sailors. Do any of you have like bowl-like objects just in case it rains, so that we can get rainwater or something else? Fresh water.
They all kind of like go through their what's on them, and none of them has anything large enough to really be considered a receptacle for rainwater now.
Okay.
Like everyone has some level of clothing, whether or not you could like stretch it out to catch water is debatable. Whether or not it's porous enough to keep it from just soaking through.
Maybe the captain can get like some, when they come back, get like some. Oh, they're here. Captain, are there like seashells at the bottom of the ocean, like shells of some kind? I know in Shelzar we usually import shellfish. I assume it's like bowl-like.
I'd assume there's some sort of like shelled creature down there, right?
Also, we can eat it.
Food is good. Between me and Jojen, who is more apt at like hunting?
Probably Jojen, but I don't want to remove any of your agency there, Captain.
Okay, so then I assume Jojen and I, being the most comfortable in water, are going to have to do a lot of like the heavy lifting of like finding survival materials, because we can like easily go down.
Yeah.
So then
you do know that what she's saying makes sense, except for like there are areas that the ocean bottom below you is pretty far below you.
Yeah.
Not like you're definitely talking at least several minutes to swim down and swim back up. Just like so you're aware, depending on where you end up being, for you to be able to, get down to the bottom and then hunt around. So it's not, there's definitely an extra plane to think about, like an extra direction of travel. While you're gone, it will be for a while, if that makes sense. Just so you're aware of that. But yeah, it does make sense that there would be something down there you could hunt. There's probably fish around. Everyone should have like a dagger. You have a trident. So you feel pretty comfortable, and Jojen feels pretty comfortable about eating. But yeah, these landwalker people, like they don't do very well when it comes to salt water. So drinking the salt water isn't going to do them very well. And you're really not sure what to do about that. Hopefully it'll rain, or you can get to shore before
the water thing becomes an issue.
3 days.
Yeah. Okay, so then we're going into emergency kicking mode once Braca has like fixed the top as like secure as possible.
Okay.
We will like kick in the northeast direction in the hope that either it rains. Jojo and I will also like go down and try to find food and like hopefully some kind of shell that could catch rainwater.
Okay.
But we'll be kicking that northeast direction, ideally so we can get land before that 3 days hits and like it's over. Also, if I remember correctly, those islands, those magical fun islands, were also north.
So when you saw them originally, they were to your north, and then you passed them, and you kind of like started heading north from like where you were. So then they were off to the west of you.
Okay.
Right now, they are more west of you than they are north.
Okay, good. So then we're going like kind of away from that towards theoretical land. Yeah, that's a little. I think that's a solid enough plan.
Okay.
Also, I should just let you all know that thing that broke the boat still technically down there somewhere.
Oh.
Just a quick FYI. All right, who's ready to kick?
Is that the plan? Is everyone going to start swimming now?
Sure. Are they still? I mean, should we start? I don't know if we're fast enough. That thing could.
Yeah, I don't think we are fast enough to outswim it.
Yeah, maybe we. Oh, go ahead.
Do we have an alternative to outswimming it? I don't think there's a whole lot of, say, bait that we can throw somewhere else.
No, we couldn't. Unless we throw somebody overboard, but we don't want to do that.
Yeah, Freed's already gone.
This is fine. So maybe we kick gently so as not to alert the creatures that are singing their death songs to each other.
Probably a good idea because kicking jet will also conserve energy.
So, you know what, Decim, you've been in the bath a long time. I think maybe you should be the first one to get a little time on the surface.
I agree with that.
Decim does not argue. Scrambles on top of the makeshift raft.
Yeah. How many people can fit on top of the raft at once? Just one? 3.
3 normal size. Like Decim is
Who's our person who's still in shock?
So yeah, once Decim starts climbing up, you notice Barnabas like glances over and sees this and just starts climbing up. He doesn't even wait for anyone to say anything.
Okay, he should go up too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do notice Selena, like, she kind of glares at him like, what are you doing? But she doesn't say anything to him.
Yeah.
Barnabas human?
What's that?
Was Barnabas a human?
So Barnabas is a human, Miela is a human, and Selena is a human. And then there was Zareen, who's the Asathi.
Well, that leaves one spot. Who else wants to? We'll all get a chance, but who else wants to go up right now?
The other sailors seem fine with being in the water right now, so probably one of you.
Maybe Brocka should go up. He's been just great,
That's true.
like creating this entire thing by himself.
All right.
He's been working. He can also test it right now and make sure that it's all good, and then fix it just in case. Yeah.
Excellent. So the three of you get up on the makeshift raft, and it definitely holds. There's like creaking involved, but you feel like the ropes are holding it sturdy enough that it's not going to just dump you into the water. And as everyone starts kicking, you notice like that warbling continues, and in the distance, it's really hard for most of you to see, but those of you who do have dark vision, even though this is outside your range, you get this like impression of like a landmass essentially rising slowly in the distance next to the other ones. Perhaps it is the one that went below earlier. Who's to say?
Oh gosh.
So after about an hour, you made some good time. Like you feel like you're actually progressing fairly well in the way that you can see the islands were moving, and they definitely kept moving, but they went, whereas they were kind of heading towards you.
Yeah.
Then they kind of end up, it looks like they're angling away from you, but it's more you are swimming out of the direction they were going, and they don't chase after you. Is there anything that you want to do?
Do we want to check for, we can keep going. I think water is going to be more of a thing.
So throughout,
see how the raft is maintaining.
Yeah. So throughout the night, everything seems to go pretty well. You all take turns as far as who's on the raft and who's in the water. Sooner or later, even those who aren't, everyone's just kind of gently kicking and everything, but it does begin to weigh on you. Even the captain and Jojin, you begin to tire some because just that constant exertion against the water wears you down. So by the time the sun rises, you all feel tired but not exhausted. So you don't have exhaustion levels, but everyone, even if you took naps and such, you still feel just drained. And the sun comes up and just starts like baking everyone that's on the raft. And you look around and there's just no sign of land or anything anywhere.
All right, let's get who has an extra length of cloth on their clothing or something. I know you guys were pulling out cloth earlier.
So like Selena has like several scarves and such.
Selena, we're gonna have to borrow your scarves. Raka, can we get you can put up 2 pegs or something if there's anything extra. I don't want you to destroy the stability of the raft, but 2 things up and then maybe string the scarves between so that there's a little bit of shade.
Yes, that Brocka should be very good at this. Because that's not what I wanted to do. Because Brocka actually does have part of his background features is kind of broadly might apply because he has gone through the desert many, many times
Yeah.
and is, in the desert he'd be able to help forage. So I'd like to think that here he would at least have some of the knowledge to be able to put together some kind of shelter from sun.
Yeah, totally. So using the cloth that's supplied to you, you definitely feel like you can make something, but you're going to have to figure out what to hang it with, essentially. And I'm just going to throw this out here as far as what you see. So there's the wood that you have for the raft. The captain has a trident. You have a mop. Otherwise, there's not a lot of stuff to really hang it with. So using those things, you feel like you could if you want to do so.
Yeah. Captain, if we use the trident, will that limit your ability to hunt for food? Do you have any other weapon you could use?
I do have a dagger. Although the trident is more efficient in underwater hunting.
Yes, I would imagine so.
Emiela pulls out like a rapier, and she doesn't toss it to the captain, but like holds it up for the captain. She's like, I'm not going to be using this, so if this helps.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. So I will hand the trident over to create the shade.
Mm-hmm.
And pick up Miela's rapier, like, you use this thing? How do you... Okay, I'll figure it out.
It seems just like a very thin toothpick that's longer than...
Is it even a weapon, or is it just like a fancy... Oh, Miela.
Oh, Miela. What is Decim doing?
Trying to stay dry, even though I'm sure he's very wet. And if we're donating cloth, he will remove the remainder of his clothes, because I believe he removed some for his progeny.
Right.
So he will... the rest, he's covered in fur. It's not like it's immodest, I guess. We'll offer that, I guess, is the best he can do, really.
Oh, he's offering the clothes off his back. Oh.
Does what he can.
Aw.
So, Braca, with all of these donations, you're absolutely able to make essentially just like a little kind of lean-to where like the trident is stuck out of the wood in one corner, and then you stretched out some of the cloth and you've more like tied the cloth together, like so there's like knots in the clothing, and it goes over to other pieces that you've managed to like stick into the wood, and it's not the most stable. It won't handle like a storm, but as long as it's nice out, it should keep you out of the sun if you're on the raft.
Excellent.
Cool. Anything else you want to do?
If I'm in the water, I'm going to try and be in a part of the water against the shade of the makeshift thing, if there is a way to catch the shade of that.
Yeah, it'll all depend on the time of the day. So, like, midday, not going to matter so much, but as the day progresses, the shadow will go further off, unless you as the raft kind of spins in the water slowly or whatever, that shadow is going to move around, so you can kind of control where it goes.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Thinking as an albino, I assume this much sun is probably not great.
Yeah. And it's funny you should mention that, because I need everyone except for, so everyone make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
Captain can do it at advantage.
Would you call this a Constitution saving throw to try and avoid some sort of, say, exhaustion due to extreme heat or thirst?
Yes, I will call it that.
Excellent. Then you would have noticed that Braca seems to be doing relatively well here.
Nice.
It's an iron-bred thing. He's also got advantage.
That's awesome.
14.
For all that helped.
Captain, yours was 7 at advantage?
He's been like going
That's
down
true.
and coming back up and fishing.
So
been a tiring day.
you don't feel so much like the heat and all that because you pretty much have just been in the water because it's normal for you. In fact, there are times where when you start getting a little overheated, you just go under and like swim along. But you didn't sleep well last night. The entire event, like going down and dealing with the swells as they like were kind of tossing you around trying to swim down to the ship and then dealing with all that, you're just exhausted, man. So you're gonna have 1 level of exhaustion. Everyone else is okay right now.
So I have another idea.
Yeah.
Stay with me, guys. But what if we get some sort of seaweed or something else and we burn it to make smoke? And potentially some people that are out here might see it and realize somebody's in trouble, especially smoke in the middle of the ocean. That's unusual. So maybe they'll investigate and find us. Thoughts?
Smoke attracts the foamers.
The what?
The foamers.
The foamers?
Are you talking about the islands that aren't islands?
No.
What are the foamers, Decim?
They are Desm, but they are also hungry. And they live on the water.
Okay.
Braca's going to look at Pracha.
I don't know that one. Usually I can figure it out. Could I make like a history roll to like try
Sure.
to parse out
Yeah, absolutely.
what he's referencing, maybe?
In Orcish, Braca's just going to suggest, could this be an alcohol reference of some kind? Like fermentation?
Maybe. History.
Well, so I feel like you might have heard of general references to Slytherin being called foamers before, but you really don't know what that means.
Okay.
So with Decim's explanation, it doesn't really help.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it doesn't clue you in anymore.
Okay. Would it make you, Decim, would it make you uncomfortable if we sent up some smoke signals in the middle of the ocean?
Desm lives to surf.
Okay. Look at the captain. When you have a chance, when you guys go out hunting again, if you see like some seaweed or something, maybe we can pick it up and like dry it out because it's very sunny here, so I don't think it'll take that long, and then we can burn it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Or eat it. Whichever.
In fact, maybe this is a good time for a break, and then Jojen can take a look out for some seaweed, and I'm gonna take a quick nap.
Sure. So everyone kind of switches positions. Like the three of whoever was on the raft jump in the water, and the captain, and we'll go with Selena, and if one of you, the other characters wants to jump up, that's fine. and Jojen dives beneath the waves. And he's actually gone for quite some time. Captain, you get a good nap in, like a short rest. And when you wake up, like you feel a little refreshed. You still feel exhausted, but like you're a little like more able to pay attention to what's going on. You're not quite so confused, like the weird head feel. And it's weird that Jojen hasn't come back yet.
Appropriate reaction.
Oh dear God. Oh no. No. Okay. So I assume if I sent Jojen hunting, I would have given him the rapier.
So it's totally up to you, but you have seen Jojen in fights with sea creatures and pirates, and he has never needed a
Gotcha.
weapon. Unless like there's a reason to keep something at a distance, he doesn't really need it.
Gotcha. Okay, is there like any thing that Braca hasn't used, like some like a piece of lumber that floats?
Everything that you brought back has been tied down. So if you want to remove pieces, you can.
Ooh.
But
Is there anything on anyone that is like somewhat buoyant?
Wait, what? You're looking for something buoyant off of somebody?
Essentially, because if Jojen hasn't come back, either he's having a great hunt or the exact opposite. So I also need to go down. But I essentially, like, if I get caught, I'm going to release the buoyant thing, being like, y'all are on your own. I'm not making it back.
No.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So it'll be like the little message bubble that floats up and then pops and goes, "Help!"
Yeah.
I mean, actually, so forgive me asking you this, but when you go, obviously you can also breathe air.
Mhm.
When you go down there, do you have air in your lungs at all? Or do you need it?
That's a good question. So I don't need it for sure. No, I do need air in my lungs, but instead of the air coming through the actual like air, it's like filtered through these things.
So I don't if you have like a secondary thing, but if you have air in your lungs and you can keep it there while you're doing it, and it's not going to affect your underwater breathing, and you just take your air breathing bit down. If you take, because this won't work otherwise, but we can give you like a thing of cloth and tie it in like a orb like object, and you can just quickly blow it full of air, and it's not going to last forever because it's still kind of porous, but if it's like has enough, it might be able to make it to the surface. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I like that. And I assume I still have some cloth on me that I still haven't like ripped up yet.
Sure.
Yeah. So then, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, test it first before you go away forever, because it might not work at all.
Yeah, so I'll go down like 50 feet and then like do a quick science experiment. Like, does it make it or does it like stay? But
yeah, it can work that way.
Okay. So then, yeah, I will. Before I go down, I'll be like, so here's the plan. I'll explain the whole plan. If you see this, you need to forgive up me and Jojen. We're probably fine. Yeah, sure. But you should also get to land as soon as possible, with or without us. Then I'm going diving.
Okay.
Run away if you need to.
So I guess the question is, how long do you want to dive and search?
Jojen, does he do more like fish, i.e. like mid-ocean, or like bottom floor hunting.
So when you were on the ship, he would usually probably do like fish, shallower water stuff if you were in shallow water like octopus and such. But like in the deeper areas, more fish. But you did send him to find
Shells as well.
shells and seaweed and such. And the area that you're in right now, it doesn't have like those really long seaweed expanses. So he'd have to go pretty deep to find plant life.
So yeah, we will go down to the bottom and I guess spend 5 to 10. I don't want to spend too long because if I spend too long, I'm just gonna get too far from the raft, and then we'll be able to find them when I come back up. So we'll spend like 5 to 10 minutes just like searching around, seeing if they're like, where would Jojen go? Do I see any like grass beds or I guess seaweed beds, shellfish or areas of shellfish where he may have gone? Also, once again, paying attention to the current, because the only thing I could think of that could like have Jojen not come back up is that thing.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's do a perception check.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
So as you're like swimming around and you spend a good deal of time looking for essentially like shadows at the edge of your vision. You're just trying to catch a glimpse of Jojen himself or creatures or whatever. And it doesn't really dawn on you until it passes right in front of you. But like a fish that obviously has been killed by like a clawed creature, like Jojen, kind of goes floating by.
Killed by a cloud creature, not eaten and not collected. Jojen is doing a bad job at this whole collecting thing. I'm going to go in that direction, realizing that if I get caught, there's nowhere they're going to see this random piece of cloth, however far I've gone from the actual place. But it's too late now. So let's go in that direction.
Okay. So you dive deeper, and after a while, you end up seeing the darkness that's the bottom of the ocean floor, and there's coral and plants and stuff that you notice, but you don't see any sign of Jojen from where you are.
Can I do some kind of investigation check? Like if I was looking for plant life, where would I go and
Sure.
try to follow his path?
Do you want to keep going down to the bottom, or do you want to kind of skim at the level that you're at?
I will go down because everything we asked him to get was like bottom level, I think.
Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
14.
So, as you're going down, you definitely see signs. Like there's actually a scrap of cloth that's stuck to like a piece of coral that looks like Jojen's shirt. It's not like his whole shirt, but like a little fragment ripped off.
Did he forget how to swim? How do you bump into coral?
And you notice there's like a lot of broken pieces of coral. There's a lot of like there'll be some like seaweed kind of floating around and stuff that probably should have been like, it looks like it was uprooted or ripped off or something. It looks like something happened down here.
It's like finding a bunch of feathers in the yard and you know a fox has gotten a bird.
Right.
Or they're decorating for a party.
So, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get my little cloth bubble thing ready, just in case. And we're gonna go down with some quickness at a fish should not cause all this turmoil for Jojen.
You're gonna try and figure out what caused the turmoil.
I mean, it so far it seems like it just keeps going down, right?
Yeah, so it looks like maybe there's a path of the destruction. It kind of goes off that way. And at this point, you're not even totally sure what direction that is. You could do a survival check.
Yeah, we will do that. And that's a 4. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that you necessarily get turned around, but you're not 100% sure what direction that is. But yeah, it looks like the destruction kind of goes off that way.
Yeah. Let's go in that direction.
Okay. Go ahead and make me another perception check.
Oh shit! Another 22.
Nice. So, as you're looking for these signs, and you definitely notice, over there is some more broken coral, and there's another fish. It looks like it was captured, like Dojin would, and killed, and maybe he dropped it or something for some reason. And there's Jojin's arm. Wait a minute, Jojin's arm. It's just like floating.
I like how you just like slipped it in there. Yeah. Just. God. God. Oh. Okay. We'll definitely keep going. Because
So-
I just saw the arm. No, like, innards or the head, so he still
Correct.
technically could be alive.
That is technically true.
Captain really doesn't want to be left alone with us by himself.
I think that may have shocked one of our cast members to
You got
have dream issues.
It shocked him so hard,
It's the internet
we switched
connection.
places.
Shit. Wait, can you still hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can hear you now.
I
Yep.
can still hear you.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, my connection's terrible tonight.
It's the curse. It continues.
the curse.
Give me some sugar.
While I am fixing our video things here, Captain,
Sorry,
make
Jeremy.
me one more perception check.
This is not the time to roll under a 10. Do you hear me, Captain? Seriously, fuck you, Captain.
Excellent. So we're going to take a break from the captain for a second.
Okay.
What is everyone doing up above?
Is there still warbling coming from those?
No.
those-
Yeah, so that actually passed. They ended up... The islands passed by you, and as they faded off in the distance, that warbling stopped.
Oh,
They stopped singing their death song. Good.
This seems like a good time for Braca to start trying to remember who the various gods are of this realm and who would be the appropriate one to pray to.
So there is a
Agreed.
goddess known as Manui, that is the goddess of the oceans. You were pretty sure that would be the one.
Yeah.
There's-
Do I know anything about Manui?
Go ahead and do a history check. Eight. You know that she is the goddess of the sea. Sailors tend to worship her, as do other aquatic races and such. Beyond that, no, you don't really know much.
So, Braca's going to say I think a little prayer in Sutak. Say, yeah, you probably haven't heard this before, particularly this language, because we're desert people. But, oh, goddess of the sea, if there's any mercy that you could show us, you'd win some favor with some new followers. Yep, desert people.
You're gonna get some desert converts. Excellent.
Are you like actively praying, or are you just kind of muttering that under your breath?
Do we hear the name Manawi? Or is that how you pronounce it?
You know, potato.
I think you probably don't, because my interpretation of Braca's history roll is that he doesn't remember the name, because it's not like he's exactly the studying or bookish type. So he just assumes there has to be some deity out there.
Okay, so he's just muttering in Sutek. Yeah.
I think he also has enough presence to know that, I know there has to be some deity out there. I do not know if she is the benevolent type or the vindictive type, so don't want to accidentally be heard praying to evil.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Pracha, so what are you doing while all this is going on?
I'm gonna take my turn up on the
raft.
on top,
Okay.
and take out my sword and dry it off during that time so it doesn't completely rust due to salt water.
Okay.
Which I've been trying to do each time, but it's very difficult because it's like, I probably am already seeing some rust on it just because of how salt water works. And I'm actually keeping an eye out to the horizon as I wait for people to come back, just in case there is a ship out there or something else.
Okay. Decim, what are you doing?
Well, it's the longest I've ever been wet. And I don't like it. Probably not the longest I've ever been in the sun, so that's probably fine. Trying to think of what my masters would have done in this situation to help my current masters. Drawing a blank.
And you're definitely starting to feel like your skin is irritated. Like, not only is the sun baking your poor little albino self, but like the salt water's just making it worse.
If only we had Dr. Zucchini's skin lotion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that stuff actually works.
It's delicious too. And nutritious.
All right. So, Captain, my captain. So you're like swimming along, and you're very worried about Jojin, and you're looking for signs of where whatever happened went. When you hear, at the very last moment, this like rush of water heading towards you, and you look up just in time to see this large green spiky fish that has like tentacles coming from just behind its head, and its mouth opens as it goes to bite you.
Don't die.
Live. Please live.
We need you.
Does a 16 hit you?
Does a 16 hit me? What's my armor class? Why is it only a 14? Yes, it does it.
All right. You're going to take 11 piercing damage as it bites you.
Oh my god. Run away.
Right? What is your dex?
3. 16.
Okay. So before you get a chance to do anything else, those tentacles lash towards you for another 16.
Oh no.
And you're gonna take 7 damage as it like there's these little spines on the tentacles, and it like latches into your skin, and you just feel this like terrible burning. So you're gonna take that's 7, and make a con save.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Con save. We're gonna do that, and that's a 9.
Ooh,
So
that's amazing. So you are poisoned. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns, ending the effect on a success. Interesting. There isn't a time, so essentially, this
They're
is
just
an
poison.
ongoing thing until your body gets over it or you are cured of it.
Right.
What do you do?
Am I grappled, or did it just like
You are
whip me with
grappled.
it?
Yep.
I am grappled. Okay. Ooh. Then can I do anything? What do I have spells? Do I have any spell that can save me? I do not have a spell that can save me. We're gonna try to break the grapple, I guess.
All right. So you do either athletics or an acrobatics.
Acrobatics, because that's more my speed.
Nice.
6.
So you like do this back kick through the water, and it just like you feel those little the word just went away. So, yeah, the little barbs just like tear out of your skin, and like you can even sense your own blood in the water, but yet you rip out free, and you can move. You may get an attack of opportunity if you move away from it.
Yeah. Does the poison do anything special that I know of?
So poisoned is a condition.
Okay, so that's disadvantage on like all the things. This is bad. All right, I guess we're gonna. So then here's the big question. Are there any scars on this thing? Like it was recently in a fight with a clawed friend of mine, perhaps?
That is a very good question. You don't see any, no.
So it wasn't even this thing that took the arm off? Oh dear God. You know what? This is what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to start swimming up.
So you want to swim away from it?
I think at this point, Captain Morgan, as fun-loving as he is very dedicated to keeping as many crew members as he can alive. And since over half of his life was gone from that one attack, he's gonna start heading up.
Gotcha. All right, so you kick off.
Oh wait, I'm a rogue. Haha! Bonus action disengage.
Oh, nice. Excellent. So you kick off and you swim. Your swim speed is 30. Is that correct?
Is it? Let me check the speed. Yep, 30 feet.
Excellent. All right. As you launch yourself upward, you glance down to see what it's doing, and it like whips those tentacles behind it and starts swimming after you. Does a 12 hit you?
12 does not hit me.
So the tentacles like lash out again and miss you. What do you do?
I guess bonus action disengage again and then dash.
Okay. So at that point you would become 60 feet away from it.
Mm-hmm.
do this one more time. Is that going to be your retreat plan? Essentially, is to disengage and swim away?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So it essentially gets one more chance to try and tentacle you before you can get too far away from it.
Mm-hmm.
It will get a 25. So that is 7. You're already poisoned, so you don't need to make the save again.
Mm-hmm.
Although you can go ahead and make your con save for the
Right.
last turn.
Con save 10.
That does it. So make another con save for this one.
This con save.
And you may not be.
8.
Nope, you were once again poisoned. But as you essentially use this extra movement that you have learned to do as a rogue, you manage to like outpace it, even though it swims about the same that you do, and those darn tentacles that have this really crazy reach. You're able to get away from it. Do you want to lead it back to the raft? Or are you going to go elsewhere and try and lose it and then go to the raft? What's your plan?
The plan is to go start heading towards the raft.
Okay.
Just because I figured, like, while I was chasing the arm of my buddy, I got far away. And then once I'm essentially, from what I can consider to be like under-ish the raft, or I can find it once I hit the surface, then I'll like swim somewhere else.
All right, so you end up popping up, and you look around, and over there is the raft, and you're about 80 feet away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to head towards it?
Is it still chasing me?
You don't see it.
Okay, then yeah. I'll head towards it.
Okay. So as the captain comes swimming up, those of you who notice him see these just like huge swollen welts on his skin that are like kind of like oozing a little bit of this like greenish ichor. Go ahead and make that save again. Let's see if you're still poisoned.
14.
So you've managed to shrug off the effects of it, but yeah, those little barbs definitely injected you with some gross stuff.
So I'll make it back.
Captain, are you okay?
I am, but Jojen did not fare as well as I did, and that's saying a lot. Good news, I found his arm.
Did you bring his arm back with you, or?
I don't think I had enough wherewithal to like grab the arm. I was just trying to like find his body.
Okay.
And his body is either still fighting one-armed, or floating, or inside something.
So, yeah, and then Brocca's just gonna go mute for a bit.
So
Can anybody help heal him at all? Like anyone?
I don't think any of the crew has anything. Let me double check. I don't think Asathi have any like
no, I don't think so either.
Stuff they can do.
Not healing. I don't think.
They can definitely like use cloth to like bandage up the wounds, but as far as magically healing, no.
I'm gonna actually look at Decim, who I still suspect is a paladin. Decim, do you have any ability to help the captain? Like healing?
Decim can try.
Okay. That would be good.
What
I
is
say, as I internally think this will either be great or awful.
Where's the captain?
And point at the guy in the water with the oozing pustules.
Well, I'll pull myself through the water using the raft as a as the means to get myself to the captain.
Yeah.
And look his wounds up and down, get a feel for what's going on here. And as I doubt I probably witnessed any actual healing on behalf of my overland travels. In the swamp, probably witnessed something that could resemble healing. So I'm going to try and mimic what I remember being done in the swamp.
What would your mom have said?
Well, my mom, of course, wouldn't be interested in healing at all.
That's fair.
Because if you're bleeding, you're dinner. So bleeding is usually bad, and we want to not be bleeding. But blood, I think, is the thing that's used the most in these sorts of things, and he's got apparently a lot of it free flowing already. So I'm gonna pause for a second and look back over at Pracha.
Okay.
Looking, he looks like he's looking for permission.
You got this. I don't know what he's gonna do.
He then begins to intone in Titan speech a string of phrases that are phrases that he remembers being used quite often in the swamp from his first master.
So who are these praises to?
It's
That's
not.
how I die.
What was it? Is it Mormo?
Mormo? Yeah, that would be my guess.
Yes!
That would be my guess.
I believe it's Mormo.
I'm afraid, and I need to check what this means.
So
Jeez.
Desmond, go ahead and do a charisma check.
A strong suit, most charismatic rat. All right. So, oh well, that's not so bad. All right, charisma check. You said, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So you're like intoning these
Oh my
praises
God.
that you've heard before, and you feel this like weird sensation kind of go through your body, unlike anything that you've ever felt before. It's not particularly pleasant. It's very it's very powerful. It's very demanding and oppressing to you.
Well, it's pretty much on par with his experience with these chants before. So, I mean, he's not been the one delivering them, mind you. He's usually been kind of the one in the middle of it, but best he can do.
Yeah. What's your reaction to it?
Well, I mean, every time has been a little different. And I guess this is part of it. I don't know. I mean, he's been asked to do this, and he's going to do it, and it may be scary, but at least it's him doing it and not his first master. So, life is, I guess, maybe looking up.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d8.
A D8. Come on, mouse, work. Where are the little dice?
Should be in the bottom right hand
Bottom right.
side.
Or if you have one in like an actual die, you can roll that and just tell me the number. Or I can roll it for you.
Yeah, just roll. I mean, I'm looking for the dice. I'm only seeing my character.
I got an 8.
8.
Captain, you're healed for 8 points of damage.
Oh.
So now he's obviously paladin. I don't know Titan speech, so I don't know what he
Uh-oh.
said.
Yeah.
Yep.
Obviously,
Yep.
that's why he's so bad at the potions and everything else. He's a paladin. We've been wasting his potential.
Exactly.
Decim, that feeling that's in your mind and body doesn't really go away. And you feel like you get the sensation inside where those nights where you would hide, in the swamp because either your mom or one of your siblings was trying to eat you, and so you were like trying to stay as small and hidden as possible. You get that feeling that that's what you want to do. Like you feel the attention of something that might eat you.
Oh, fuck. Well, there's nowhere to fucking hide. He will, I guess, evacuate and ramble onto the raft.
Okay.
Pull his naked little rat body back on top of that thing and go into a defensive posture.
Who's on the raft currently?
I'm gonna slide off the raft as he comes on, because obviously this is one of his, maybe he needs to meditate after or something. I don't know what paladins do.
Gotcha. So yeah, he just you almost think he walks on the water as he scrambles as quickly as possible away from the captain, lands on the raft and just balls up behind Selena.
I've seen him ball up before, right? Like when he was hiding in the ship for the water to go away? Or is this more extreme?
I'd say it probably at least looks more extreme because he doesn't have clothes on, and so he's just this little ball of wet fur.
Okay. Decim, are you okay?
He will. He knows that if he can't see it, they can't see him.
Right.
That's hiding. And if he's moving less than everything else, they'll be eaten first. So I'm just gonna wait and see. Maybe even hold my breath for a little bit just to see if there's an explosion or Mama Tika emerges from the air or something. Hopefully these other people will be a more worthy sacrifice.
Okay.
Well done. If he does, he's not responding. Well done, Captain. How do you feel?
And Captain, it healed your body, but you have this really weird lingering I'm gonna call it a taste in your mouth, but it goes beyond that. Like it's like a feel in your head that's like a little slimy, and for some reason, like you just keep feeling like the sensation of like scales sliding across your skin, and like it slowly fades away, but it it was kind of not the best experience you've ever had in being healed before.
Gotcha. That little one is rather interesting. I'd say.
Yeah, we he was our salesman, but I think he's a paladin, maybe.
I could see
After
that.
taking this trip, I think I'm almost positive. I'm not sure what he's doing right now, but he's done it before in times of stress, so I think that's his manner of praying. He's you know,
Uh, I mean, he's different than any Slytherin I've met.
yes.
I have no reason to disbelieve you.
No,
Um,
I assume that's what's going on. Like it just makes sense. Like if you just add it all up, it just when you put it all together, that has to be. I mean, you have to agree that has to be it.
well, when he starts moving again, be sure to thank him for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Decim, thank you again. Once you're done praying, I know you're concentrating very hard right now. But thank you.
What time of day is this?
I am trying to remember what time the captain went below water. Captain, do you recall?
Uh,
I know it was getting hot.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm thinking around
Probably-
noon-ish.
Around noon, maybe early afternoon.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we're like we'll go with it's like mid-noon at this point.
Um, so I'll explain.
Did I just say
the
mid-noon?
arms situ-
Sorry.
Mid-noon.
Mid-noon.
I assumed 12:30,
yeah.
but
Yeah, hey, it made perfect sense. So you pay attention to yourself.
Oh, Captain, are you still there?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I think we'll wait another 30 minutes for the one-armed Trojan to come back, and if he doesn't, we're going to have to leave.
Gotcha. Anyone else have anything they want to do?
Waiting. Just waiting.
Okay.
Quietly and inconspicuously move off the surface of the raft and be in the water kicking a bit because, well, someone has to, right? Right? You may have noticed a hard stare at Decim and be very, very worried about what just happened and whether it was invoking an evil deity. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what happened.
I'm gonna start kicking a bit as well as best I can, just because. Or actually, no, we're waiting for Jojem, right? Like for
Yes.
30 minutes.
Yeah. So we're not moving anywhere. We're
Yeah. Okay. Are we? Yeah. Wait.
Just keep watch, maybe.
Yeah. Keep watch. I'm gonna continue to kind of like scan the horizon at this point. See if I see anything.
Everyone go ahead and make perception
make a roll.
checks. Nice one, Braca. Okay, so
Get salt water in my eye.
right, sometime during that half an hour, Braca, you notice like hazy, like off in the distance, there's like a haze, and you think it might be those islands that you saw yesterday. but like it's so far away that it's hard to make out for sure. But otherwise, you see nothing on the horizon, and like nothing comes out of the water or anything like that. And after the half hour passes, Decim, you feel pretty safe that nothing's gonna come eat you.
It probably will happen tonight. I mean, usually, and probably also
It's true.
depends on the phase of the moon too. And he's racking his brain as to what the phase of the moon is. 'Cause that might be a thing. He's definitely on edge. Is that presence still there?
So you know, like when you smell something that smells bad for long enough, it goes away,
Yeah.
but it's actually still there.
Yeah.
It's that kind of feeling.
Oh.
Oh dear.
Oh dear, indeed.
He definitely on edge. He is on edge.
Okay.
But it being daylight, we're probably okay. Just need to like figure out who needs to be sacrificed when the moon is high. So he's kind of taking stock of who's here, and is trying to make a objective decision as to who's probably the best candidate.
Go ahead and make an intelligence check.
Come on, Mouse, you can do it. Intelligence.
Okay. So, for the rest of the day, so essentially, like, you start kicking and everyone's heading off, and Decim just kind of like eyes everyone throughout the day randomly. As the sun begins to set, everyone's feeling very tired and a little, I don't say hopeless, but definitely strung out from being in the middle of the ocean and not really, like, you don't see much of a change throughout the day. Like, clouds never come by. Really, the only change was the sun moving from one horizon to the other that verifies that time has passed, but otherwise, everything just kind of stays the same. And, Captain, you notice that Decim is just staring at Barnabas way too much. Like, he definitely keeps eyeing Barnabas with some kind of intent. But everyone make a con save.
Sponsor.
As we start to get
Against-
tired, I'm going to use the control water to control the flow and give us like a 300-foot break of
Boosh.
path.
Yeah. Excellent.
And I assume this is more heat exhaustion.
Yep.
So Brocca's got advantage. So that's
13.
not terrible.
Yeah. All right. You notice that Barnabas and Selena are both very worn out by the end of this day. Miela is holding up pretty well, and surprisingly enough, Zareen is really holding his own. Like, when it's his turn in the water, like, he just kind of, like how serpents just do that kind of sidewinder thing. He seems super happy about it. But, Captain, you and Barnabas and Selena are all gain a level of exhaustion. As does Pracha.
Got it.
Sorry, I missed your number there.
Oh, that's okay.
Who has... I think Captain has the highest passive
I am-
perception, right? With 15.
Yeah.
Does anyone have over 15?
I probably do not. Knowing the sheet.
Nope.
Nope.
So
No.
as the sun sets, Captain, you feel like you see a haze in the distance that seems darker, almost like a smoke. But it's like so far away that it's really hard to tell for sure. But it's definitely in the direction you're heading. So you're hopeful that is the shoreline. That somewhere over there is a settlement or a city, and that tomorrow you should be able to reach it, or even tonight, depending on how much you push through the night.
I mean, yeah, and Prasha said we had 3 days, and this is like the start of day 3, so we gotta push forward.
Yeah. What does everyone think?
I would like to drink water as soon as possible, please. That's what I think. And food would be great.
I would like to think, having been on a number of kind of treacherous survival runs with family, if we push ourselves now, are we just going to burn out and not get there?
Do a survival check. Survival's
Good point.
wisdom, right? I think
Yes.
so.
I think so, yeah.
If only I had advantage.
So, is that a possibility? Yes. Braca, it's really hard. So the fear is in your mind for sure. It really depends on how far away. So the ocean has a lot in common with the desert in the way that like distances are really hard to tell. And so, is that shoreline actually as close as you want it to be, or is it further away? So you're not 100% sure, but you feel like it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, so say in the desert there was this one time where I thought the oasis was going to be close, and we all did, and it wasn't. And because we pushed ourselves, it took twice as long to get there. So
Okay.
we may need to think what is prudent here. Do we feel like we have enough leftover food or anything if we do not push ourselves?
I mean, we have nothing right now.
Food shouldn't be that big of an issue, because even as tired as I am, I can catch like a few fish.
So, gonna throw this out there. Jojen was going hunting.
That didn't go well.
Did not come back.
I assume Jojen didn't come back because of the creatures at the bottom of the ocean.
Yes.
I will not be following.
Yeah, I don't think we're going hunting.
Oh no, we could go hunting for like, surface fish. They tend to be smaller and much less full of tentacles. It's the water that I'm concerned, because I'm fine. Like, this water to me is delicious. It's like salty and kind of sweet. I've heard you all can't drink this water.
No, we can't. We will die.
And that's the big issue. If we wait too long, even if we're fully rested without water, you all won't be able to keep going.
So my take on it, and you have a lot more experience. I mean, I was a kid when we were in the desert, honestly, Braca. So you have way more experience than I do. But I feel like the longer we're out here, we're just rolling the dice to see what giant creature of awful is going to come and eat us next. So
you make a very persuasive argument.
That is a solid point.
Yep.
So that's my take. Obviously, if you think we should pace ourselves, then I'm going to say yes. But also,
See,
giant lobsters.
yeah. I don't want to be around the giant lobsters.
Decim, do you have any input for this?
Only one needs to be eaten.
Decim, are you volunteering?
No. I
Does,
hope
does Braca wish Decim to volunteer?
no.
Oh, God.
No. Braca wishes for no one to be eaten, and for no one to advocate anyone be eaten. By the way, would Braca have recognized that there was Titan speech going on, even if he didn't recognize the words at all? I as a player, I don't know.
Do you speak Titan speech?
No.
It was definitely a different language, and you have heard Decim say things before, but you probably wouldn't understand
Okay,
the intent behind the words.
got it.
He usually
So-
catches himself when
Yeah.
he is speaking that language, or if he makes reference to that language, he usually catches himself and stops almost immediately, and seems quite embarrassed when he uses it as a modicum of communication.
So
The
yeah,
first- he's
let's
probably
try and
done
go.
a string of those words.
So the plan is to kick through the night.
I mean, we're still doing the rotating.
Yeah.
Someone gets like a thing, but in the hope that could be land with water and not giant lobsters.
I mean, what could be the worst thing that happens, right? So everyone, go ahead and do one more Constitution saving throw.
Come on, Captain. You should not. There we go, Captain.
Everyone's owning it this time,
That bit of hope. Like, where is that land? We can do it.
right?
That's got us.
We got it. We got it.
Oh, Decim.
Oh,
So Braca, you had advantage, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So Decim, in your state of worry, and you just get like a little frantic with things, and you manage to wear yourself out. You're going to gain a level of exhaustion, but everyone else manages to push through the night. Oh, except for hang on. Barnabas is not doing very well. When it's his turn to be in the water, essentially he just kind of like loops his arm through some of the ropes, and you can see his feet kick, but it's more like he's being drugged by the raft than he is pushing it.
Okay.
But everyone else manages to push through pretty well.
Decim nods sagely.
As the sun rises, or begins to poke over, like even before the sun itself appears, there is this like dark line on the horizon, and it gets closer and closer, and you can see that there is a small town or village on the coastline, and there's a large ship in its port. Not like huge, but there's obviously like a small port and a ship there. And Barnabas makes it through the night without Decim sacrificing him.
Well, I was kind of hoping it would just naturally happen.
Right? It was close.
I mean, I was told not to kill him, technically, so I won't.
That is fair. So as the raft makes it to the docks, and just kind of like bumps up against it, and Miela jumps up and like grabs one of the ropes from the docks and like ties off to like a big chunk of wood that is the raft. Everyone's kind of like looking around, and you don't see anybody. Like, there's the ship in here, and there's the dock right there, and there's like some buildings further up, and like no one's on the dock, no one's fishing, no one's doing anything, and it is awfully early in the morning. But Captain, as you like climb up, you look up at the ship and you're like, oh, that is a fine vessel. I miss the Cyrenity. And you just notice that like there are at least a dozen cats like sitting on the ship, just like watching you. And like
Cats.
Yeah, cats. And like one of them has like a little hat, like a little like pirate hat on it, or like, you know, like a little sailor hat. And a couple of them have like vests, and they're just like kind of walking around and like doing cat things, but they're all eyeing you.
Do I know of Catbeard, this famed cat pirate?
You've never heard of a cat beard or anything like that, but as the cats are all eyeing you, I feel like that is the best place to stop for this week.
Oh.
So, congrats for surviving the ocean mostly.
Yes.
Oh, Jojen.
Poor Jojen, he's sushi.
Right? Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns about this week's adventure?
Decim, how are you thinking about all those cats?
He's gone. Decim is gone.
I'm still here.
Oh, there you are.
What do you think about all the cats, Decim?
Are they cats?
Sorry, your audio's cutting out. I guess it'll be a reaction for next week.
Are they?
I guess so. Dum dum dum.
Dum dum dum.
Kitties, or are they like the cat people?
They are feline animals.
So kitty cats.
Yeah, like house cats.
Aw, like little tabbies.
Oh, well, I mean, they are a nutritious source of protein. And that's a good sign. That means there's food on this island. So Decim is, he looks pretty happy, actually.
Excellent. Well, let's do introductions. Speaking of Decim, why don't you start?
My name is John, and I am a nerd. I like to play nerd games.
Yay.
Yay! You can follow me on Instagram at Distillosaurus Rex.
Awesome.
Journey through the wild world of Irish distilling.
Hooray.
Hooray!
And Braca, how about you?
I am Noah Grand, and I play Braca, and I am a very busy D&D person right now, since I'm leading a charity event that's ongoing for the next week called Maydays. You can check us out at maydays.online, as we've got a number of events running, and I also released a number of things on the DM's Guild since our last game. So, yeah, if I've got time for a quick plug.
Sure.
Yeah. So I have an adventure in the Princess Project, a level 20 adventure where,
Nice.
Belle from Beauty and the Beast has been through a lot, so she deserves either a meteor swarm or a plane shift to get out of there, because at a certain point you just need other people to come along and help you out with some problems that are just too much to deal with. Slight chance of collateral damage with that meteor swarm. And I've also got an adventure in Exit Pursued by Owlbear, the Shakespeare D&D anthology, called Much Ado About Cookies, and I think you can guess which play that is inspired by.
Nice.
Kind of rewriting the ending there.
Excellent. And where can people find you on the interwebs?
And easiest place to find me is on Twitter at Noah Grant.
Perfect. And I will make sure to plug all of those links into the show notes for you. Congratulations on the new projects.
Thanks. Yeah, they both hit copper already.
That's awesome. Rockin'. All right. The temporary, perhaps, but we shall see. Captain Morgan, tell us about yourself.
Hi, so I'm Chaz, and I study video games and D&D and storytelling and music and all of those things and how they crisscross. And I am playing Captain Morgan, who had to say goodbye to his buddy in order to save the crew. That was a hard decision. I was going to be like, well, we're doing this thing. But yeah.
Nice. And last but not least, Pracha, tell us about yourself.
Hello, I played Pracha. My name is Catie Griffin. You can find me online on Facebook at Catie Griffin Writer, or you can find me at www.mostimprobable.com. And in my real life, I do weddings, although we're currently not doing weddings right now. And soon. Soon, hopefully, fingers crossed. I'm hoping for it. And then otherwise, I write a lot of material for tabletops in my spare time, and I love it. And I also like playing great games like this.
Nice. And do you have anything new since the last time we spoke?
No. I'm dipping my toe in the water at running my own tabletop, but that's something different. Yeah.
Well, I hope that goes well.
I hope so too. I have a new appreciation for what you do. It's amazing. So
it's definitely a lot of juggling.
Oh yeah.
And I am Jeremy Hochhalter. You can find me on Twitter at WHPubs, or you can go to my website, whpublications.com. I publish on DM's Guild and Drive Through. I have a lot of things in the works, and I hope to get caught up soon so I can actually say any of those things are done. But until next time, everyone stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see everyone in the next episode. Bye.
Yes. Bye.